All right, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rain City Wargaming's Wych Pigeon community live stream. My name is Jake,
I'm Garrett.
and we're going to be your hosts for tonight's game. Garrett, tell us who's playing tonight.
Tonight we have Aidan with his Imperial Fists, Imperial Guard, and then Isaac and his Imperial Fists.
It's a battle for who has the better Imperial army.
Now, I don't want to be a little too forward, but I think the Fists might take it.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit.
You think so?
I think so.
When I'm holding the yellow folder, I'm supposed to be rooting for the fists. I guess I'll root for the guard, even though I'm going to tell you about the fists. I always love a good guard scheme that's not like the traditional, military ones. This is the Vostroyans. Aidan's army is beautiful. We're going to see it in just a minute here, actually. Let's go ahead and pull that video up and take a look at the Vostroyans.
Perfect. So I'll go into the list a little bit real quick. So first off, we have Lord Solar Leontis himself. He is the warlord, and he is beautifully painted right there in the center. We have 3 squads of 10 Rough Riders. That's a lot of horses.
Fun.
You'll have to forgive these videos today. I forgot my stabilized gimbal, so we're getting hand shots, and I'm not the most stable man in the world when it comes to a phone. Leontis, though, is joined by 2 platoon command squads. And these are really important because, A, they give out more orders. Leontis has 3, but the platoon command squads have 2, 1 each, so 2 total. And one of them has an enhancement, the drill commander, which lets him... Oh, I actually wrote this down because it gives his squad lethal hits on 5s.
Oh, fantastic.
Correct. Because the army ability for the guard is if they remain stationary, they get lethal hits.
There you go.
It's quite nice. Other units, he has 2 squads of just flat guardsmen, and then 2 Colossus bombards. Those are big artillery pieces, absolutely massive. Joining them, he has a Voss pattern lightning, which is cool, nice little relic of the Dark Age, and 2 Vulture gunships. That's a lot of guns. Those Punisher Gatling cannons, 36 shots each.
That's why I'm saying the Vostroyans are going to take it.
There's so many guns. So many guns. No tanks, funnily enough. No tanks at all. And then rounding off the list, he has 2 regimental attaches, which go into the command squads and help out the...
Gotcha.
Mostly the artillery, truthfully.
Fantastic. Up against them, we have the Sons of Dorn. So let's take a look at Isaac's Imperial Fists here. We've got... a bunch of Terminators. So we've got over here, we have the Relic Terminators. And then we also have a group of, they're in the front here, the Terminator Assault Squad in the front. And along with them, some characters. We've got a captain in Terminator armor who's going to, give them that free strat and all that. And that gentleman whose name is Darnath Lysander, the Imperial Fists specific character.
First captain.
He gives the whole unit -1 to wound if the strength is greater than their toughness, that like the new transhuman.
Yeah.
And once per battle for a single phase, he can have a 2-up invul.
Oof.
So when it really matters, you can turn that on and get a lot of defense there. Rounding that out, we've got the Apothecary Biologus, who, despite being an apothecary, doesn't heal.
No.
He just collects body parts. So once he kills someone in melee, his OC goes to 9.
So nuts.
Pretty cool.
Very high.
For the rest of the game, not just like that turn, not just forever. And then the Primaris Apothecary. We've got a Ancient with the banner, that extra OC for the Terminators.
Yep.
And then, rounding it out, some classic Primaris units. We have the Eradicator Squad, which is going to be with those Melta rifles.
2 of them, right?
Is it 2 of them? It is 2 of them, isn't it? Yeah. It's on the second page. I'm going to say yes. Then the Hellblaster Squad, right, with that plasma, getting to, shoot on death on a 3-up.
No, it is Heavy Intercessors.
The Infernus Squad, which is those new guys with the flamethrowers. They also purge the foe. They can make someone do a battle shock after they hit him with the flamethrower. And last but not least, that Gladiator Lancer, getting those big shots, to take out some of those Imperial Guard planes, maybe.
Looks like it's actually Heavy Intercessors with the Biologus.
Heavy Intercessors. Those are the ones I forgot to write down.
The heavy intercessors with the biologist to hold the home objective,
That's
which makes it quite nice when you have OC 9 plus 10, 19 OC on an objective
Absolutely.
from 6 models.
So let's go ahead and take a look at the board and see how they're coming out in deployment.
Absolutely. All right, it looks like we have a random angular deployment zone. I forget what it's actually called, but it's called something. And what is our primary mission today?
We forgot to ask them separately. Let's see. In the corner, we have, I see minefields, sweeping engagement, and priority targets.
So priority targets is going to be our primary, I believe. And then minefield. If you advance on a roll, every unit that advances, you roll a d6 on a 1. They take a mortal wound.
Ooh, interesting.
I think it's just 1.
That's that mission rule, so that's going to be very interesting for those Terminators and their 5-inch move. They usually will want to advance when they don't have that melee target. Here we are, yeah.
Each time an advance roll of 6 is made. Nice.
Okay, so there's that risk-reward each time you advance down there. And then let's check out that mission priority targets.
All right. So,
just real straightforward.
nice and easy.
Control, get 5 VP for each objective marker you control, up to 10. And at the end of the game, another 5 for each you control, up to 15.
Makes it very easy for us.
Yeah, real straightforward.
No twists and turns today. Well, of course, except for the minefield.
Yeah.
They did not heed the warnings of warning. Thar be mines.
And it looks like for both armies here, we're deploying right up on the line. Everything's right up front, ready to go.
Well, and in Aidan's case, too, he can't exactly avoid not deploying on the line. He has so many models.
Right, with all of those models.
All of those little oval bases on the Rough Riders.
There's a little room in his back corner, but it's just fitting them all in there.
And it seems like the Vulture gunships are starting in hover mode, which lets them start on the field.
Instead of in that, air off the field, flying in. So that reduces their movement, what is it, 20, 24 inches?
Yeah.
But allows them to operate like regular models. Don't have that minimum move anymore.
Correct.
It can always lead to some awkward positioning when you're trying to just rotate just enough and move
enough.
Just not off the board.
Yep. Now, if one of those vultures does go off the board, they are then placed in strategic reserves, which lets them come back next turn. And it does also seem that the Voss is in strategic reserves because I don't think it can hover.
That would make sense.
I believe it is not like the Valkyrie and the Vulture, which are multi-purpose.
Alrighty. Here comes the roll-off for the first turn.
Ooh. All right, and we have Isaac in the white dice and Aidan in the Waystone dice.
Vice versa. Aidan's got the white dice.
Does he? Did it?
Isaac's got the black dice.
Did it? Oh, yep. Yeah, it is. You can see it sort of at the top.
All right, so we're starting off with the Vestroyans.
I believe Aidan has not joined his secondaries yet.
All right, +1 to hit.
+1 to hit across the board.
Shooting time.
I believe that one is called. I wrote all of this down.
That one I know is called Move, Move, Move.
I do know Move, Move, Move. I was looking at the Take Aim as the +1.
Take Aim for +1 to hit.
There are only 6 orders now.
All right.
Okay. Investigate.
Investigate signals and tempting target.
All right, so tempting target is take the objective that is in the center. And,
I brought my deck.
we have an extra set of secondary
go.
cards so we can tell what they are.
Investigate signals. That's the corners, so you got to be within 9 inches of a corner and do.
There we are. Have it up on screen.
Action there. And then tempting target, where your opponent will pick one of the objectives in no man's land, and you get 5 VP if you can control it.
And Isaac has selected the objective in the center of the field. I believe that might be number 5. It's currently covered up by a mission card.
Yep, number
Yep,
5 right
number
there.
5. So it looks like we have objective 1 off in the bottom right of the screen, objective 4 in the bottom left, number 5 in the center, 3 in the top left, and number 6 is all the way in the top right. There is no number 2.
Number 2 is a lie.
It is a lie. It's fake.
Just scooching back.
Jump off the ladder, YY, 360 no scope, tomahawk. All right, now I don't believe those Colossus are going to move much this game, if at all.
They're not really going to need to. They've got a nice sight line there across the middle from that corner. They can cover, anything near objectives 5 and 3, even all the way down to 4. There's a little bit of cover around there, right? In those, there's that barricade and that storage container. But that's going to be an interesting spot to hold, especially because in this mission, right, it's not just no man's land objectives; it's all of them.
It's all of them. Now, I will say the regimental attaches that are in the platoon command squads, one of them is the master of the armory, I believe is what his name is. And he has the Master Nuncio Vox. Not Nuncio Vox.
Ooh.
It's not called it's Master Vox? Artillery commander, yes. So within 30 inches of the artillery piece, they get sustained hits.
Ooh, interesting.
And then I think it's actually the platoon commanders.
30 inches?
30 inches.
That's most of the board.
It is.
It's really like half the board at any given time. You'll be in a good spot. I think you might be explaining that right now.
Yeah.
Oh, 12-inch. Okay.
It's from the Astropath.
And then the planes can get a +1 to hit. Excellent.
Yep. It's one of the stratagems. Expert Bombardiers gives them +1 to hit with indirect weapons as long as something with a Vox
Gotcha.
can see it.
Oh, are those tanks are indirect?
Yes.
Ah, yes.
The
They
Colossus
really
Bombard.
don't need to move.
All right. There we are.
There's the Colossus.
All right. Each time this model is selected to shoot, provided it remains stationary, it gets anti-monster 5 and anti-vehicle 5. Ouch. That's nuts. And the Colossus Siege Mortar is blast and devastating wounds for D6 +2. Woof.
And that range, 120 inches.
God,
There
yeah.
is nowhere to hide.
Range board.
It doesn't appear to be indirect, though, anymore.
No, it isn't.
Blast and devastating
Strange.
wounds now.
Color me wrong.
If you could check chat, Lil.
All right. It seems like these Rough Riders are moving up. They're screening out the board very, very well.
Yep, just taking that center, taking control. That is
Getting
the
that-
tempting target, so.
Getting that 5 points. It does not seem that our Lord Solar Leontes is in that squad.
All right, so we're going to have 2 corners for signals. That's tempting target. And signals is 2 VP for each corner. So he's going to be getting at least 4 VP for signals at the end of the turn.
The downside about the Colossus is that it is only AP1. That is a shame.
Oof.
Oof. All right, and a repeat of that same shooting attack into one of the Terminator squads.
Oof. Just the one shot.
2 shots. There's blast.
Ah, that's right.
Mhm.
And actually 3 if he's shooting into one of the 10-man blobs.
Then he must not be. All right, we have Elias Cannon into the Furnace Marines. Hits, wounds on a 2. Absolutely wounds. Makes it.
All right, so that will be 4 points for investigate signals from the 2 corners, and the full 5 points for tempting target.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
That's
so,
deploy teleport homers, engage on all fronts.
yeah, so deploy teleport homers is do an action in your opponent's deployment zone.
Or in the center of the battlefield.
Is it or in the center?
Yep. So in the center of the battlefield is 3 VP. Opponent's deployment zone is 5 victory points.
Gotcha.
And it's not an action. It is just being present there. No, just kidding. It is an action. You're absolutely right. 6 inches to the center of the battlefield.
Got it.
And where the other one was engage.
I believe so.
Engage on all fronts. Be in the 4 corners.
And it looks like the heavy intercessors for Isaac are down here in the bottom right corner near objective 1 with the bilocus.
Down by bottom. Yeah, there they are in the corner. And then we have, I wasn't sure if these were the relic terminators or the assault terminators. I think I saw a hammer.
Do they have storm shields?
Yeah, do we see hammers and shields here, or do we see guns?
That
was a hammer. When he fell over, that's a hammer and a shield.
So those are the assault terminators.
And then behind them, that looks like...
Eradicators and a gladiator lancer.
There we are. Those might be heavy bolters. That might be the heavy intercessors.
No, the heavy
They're over
intercessors.
there? Okay.
I believe they were with the... No.
We can clear that one.
Other faction. So you have the secondaries.
Flipped. Yep. Just a second. We'll flip that around. We have the score on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm. It's the Hellblasters in the bottom.
That's
with
what
the
it is.
regular apothecary.
Gotcha. Are they
There we
just
go. Here's our updated scoreboard for the bottom half of Turning Point 1.
And then we
Point
have
1
deploy
battle round.
teleport homers and engage on all fronts.
Absolutely.
There we go. Let me pull that down now.
We're going hazardous with the plasma from one of the just infantry squads. Excuse me.
Overwatch.
Mm-hmm. No hits.
All right, but they survive at least.
They sure did.
Bunch of las guns. Big old squad here.
It's a 20-man, if I recall.
For those of you just joining us, we're in the bottom of turn 1, and we could update the turn indicator to point to the Sons of Dorn. The Vostroyans have come forward a little bit, done some shooting, and we're switching over to the Sons of Dorn, who are getting overwatched presently. I'm in that bottom right corner. We can clear the scoreboard there.
All right, we have a handful of hits here. It looks like 3 on Overwatch. Those will be wounding on 5s, if I recall.
Right? Yep. Big Overwatch, lots of dice rolled, and nothing happens. That's what happens sometimes.
Though it is fine because Lord Solar Leontis does give you an extra command point in your command phase. So Aidan was working with 3 there.
So it's just, you got that extra CP every turn, just might as well spend it.
Mm-hmm. The laser destroyer into one of the Colossus bombards. Oh, this is into one of the vultures, not into the Colossi.
Yeah, they were measuring if you could see all the way across to the tail there.
All right, half those wounds immediately chipped off one of those vultures. Ouch.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, because the command squad is multiple models, but still gets to attach like a leader to the unit.
Correct. And then the regimental attaches attach to the command squad.
Layers.
Which
here,
then
there.
attaches to the unit. Yeah, very strange, these Imperial Guard. Those
beautiful Waystone logo on the 6s there.
Gorgeous dice. Is it going to take 2 las guns? Or 4 las guns, rather, or... Ooh, and a plasma gun.
In that moment, figuring out that balance, do you try and keep the objective? Do you pull the better guns?
Because those heavy weapon teams are OC2.
Because they're like 2 models, right? They take up 2 slots. They have 2 wounds.
Heavy intercessors are an interesting unit. They get +1 to save against 1 damaged units while they're on an objective, and they have some damage output. The heavy bolters are all right, I suppose. Where they would really shine is if they do have a Biolocus attached to them. They just essentially make it so you forever control whatever objective you put them on.
Right.
However, they are rather expensive at 110 points for 5.
Yeah, that is expensive. They also, I think they have 1 heavy bolter and 4 heavy bolt rifles.
Correct. Yep. 1 heavy bolter per 5 heavy intercessors. All right, I believe Isaac is charging into the Rough Riders.
There we go.
Now, those Rough Riders do have melta bombs, or melta lances, excuse me. If I do recall. There they are. It's 1 attack per rider, and it's strength 9, AP 4 for D6 damage.
Dang. That's quite heavy.
Has the potential to just immediately kill a Terminator.
Right.
Because
so
go ahead.
In this case, Isaac is relying on just clearing as much as he can with that Alpha Strike. Get in there, clear as many as possible. I mean, that's why he picked tempting target number 5, right? Get them into the middle, right into charging range, and try and clear them out.
Absolutely.
Now, I believe some of the characters are on there as well.
It looks like that is Lysander's squad.
Mr. Lysander. And are I'm not sure if the Ancient is in there.
The Ancient should be in that squad as well,
in that squad as well.
Yep. The -1 to wound, it would be very, very big on that squad.
With that lance, right? That big, strong lances, and you're right back down to force.
Yeah.
Whew, 36 dice. Big rolls. Right. So the Assault Terminators, I At the end of a charge, can trigger a battle shock test.
That's a very interesting ability. Oof, and those Rough
These
Riders are
oath target.
Oh,
Oh,
those Rough Riders are
Gonna be a
not in a
big
very
hit.
good spot.
right. And because these are hammers, they hit a little worse. They're hitting on 4s instead of 3s. But they're going to make up for it in the wounding because they are strength 8.
And devastating.
Right. What's the toughness of the riders?
4.
4. All right. So there you go.
10 mortal wounds. That hurts.
Absolutely.
Oof.
Yeah, if you're battle shocked, you can't use any stratagems on them.
But the unit is destroyed, and the stratagem specifically says you can. If the
Oh,
unit's destroyed.
that's a good one to read the
Because
wording
they're
for.
dead. They're
What?
not battle shocked if they're dead.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Can't be battle shocked if you're not alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's the roll safe.
Stonks. Only goes up. You got it. You can.
Fantastic. So, what units can he use that stratagem on?
Yes.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
How often can he use that stratagem?
Well, you can only use a stratagem once per phase.
So that one, it doesn't have a once per game restriction or anything?
Nope.
Fantastic.
It
So
is 2 command points per use.
But he's got that Lord Solar to be giving him the extra CP.
Mm-hmm.
And so he can just...
As long as Solar's alive, he can just keep churning that out.
Fantastic. So they're now in reserves.
Yep.
And can come back in the next turn.
Absolutely. There it is, the Collegiate Astralex. Oh, no, that is a 3-unit redeploy, and we did not see that
We
go.
didn't see that. No, we have the Lord... He's just the Lord Solar.
Yeah.
At the starting command phase, you just gain a CP, an extra one.
It is just like, what is it, Brilliant Strategist for Azrael?
Mm-hmm.
The same effect.
And there we go. And it looks like the Hellblasters are charging in as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, something that is interesting, and a very interesting interaction, is the Guard's army ability. Born soldiers, if you remain stationary, you get lethal hits. But if you overwatch, you only hit on 6s. But it auto-wounds.
There you go. Lethal hits in Overwatch is always an interesting combination, or sustained with Overwatch, because you're looking for 6s anyway.
Right.
It's interesting here. So I presume he's doing the charge because he wants to trigger that OC9, right? He needs to get a melee kill, even though your Hellblasters are not necessarily your best melee threat. In fact,
Well, the Biologus is not with the Hellblasters. He cannot join the Hellblasters.
that's the Primaris Apothecary. Okay. Excellent point.
I believe it is 20 Terminators and then 2 Terminator characters.
Yeah, 3 Terminator characters, right?
Oh, the Ancient. Yes.
Yeah, there's the Terminator Captain, the Terminator Ancient, and then Mr. Lysander.
Mr. Lysander himself. Aidan is...
And then we got some pile in there.
Mm-hmm.
Those guardsmen gonna flail wildly against some power armor.
So it seems like the Hellblasters were able to kill a couple of the heavy weapon squads and then a couple more guardsmen. So that's just 2 less las cannons that Aidan has to work with. However, the only real target for the las cannons is that Gladiator Lancer.
Right. That's the big toughness. You've got a big egg you've got to crack.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And looks like 0 for everything. For
I think
Isaac's
that
turn 1.
engage is
He said he doesn't score engage. He's too close to the
only
corners.
2 quarters, right? So he'll hold on to that one, and then he's getting rid of deploy teleport homers.
Mm-hmm. So now we're at the top of battle round 2.
The exact same 2 for the Vostroyans now going into 2.
Mm-hmm.
Engage in all fronts and deploy teleport homers.
And
Yeah.
Aidan is on a handful of objectives for primary. I believe he's on 2, maybe.
We can clear that. Yeah, so for primary, yeah, it looks like he
Just
probably
one.
doesn't hold that bottom right corner. The Hellblasters are all on there, and they've got more OC.
But he is on that one in his deployment zone.
In his deployment zone, so that will be
5
5 points for
5
primary.
whole points.
For the Vestroyans in...
Mm-hmm. And there we are. Perfect.
There we go.
Now I believe Aidan is...
Oh! So he's got just slightly more on there. I'm glad they counted that out. So another 5 points for a 10 on primary for the Vestroyans in the top of turn 2.
A very healthy 19-point lead.
Absolutely. Just not quite getting that engage and the deploy Telmore homers. It's a hard. Those are hard ones to get on the first turn.
Absolutely, especially with such a slow army.
A slow army and with fewer units on the board as well. Fewer units, but more data sheets.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we've got some Rough Riders heading in.
Getting ready for that counter charge.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to see those Melta-tip lances.
I would assume so. I would assume that is the play rather than the D6 from the frag tip. Now, keep in mind, they do also have las guns for some reason.
So they can take some pot shots on the way in.
Will those come out? I doubt it.
And it's not really, you don't really, if you happen to kill a Terminator, he's going to pull the one closest and make you charge an inch or two harder. Right? And from the other side, we got more.
And this is the squad with Leontis as well.
This is the third squad of Rough Riders.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, I have a wonder. No, I'm sorry. Leontis is at the top with the infantry squad, with the regimental attaches attached to the platoon command squad attached to the infantry squad.
I think the Lord Solar doesn't attach. I think he stands on his own.
No, he attaches.
He attaches? Oh,
he
okay.
attaches.
Maybe it was just my opponent at Tacoma Open didn't attach it.
Now, where are these vultures going to fly off to?
It looks like they're just scooching up a little bit there.
So it seems like he's using one of the vultures to just hold that home objective for him.
He does have engage on all fronts, so that 20-inch movement of the vulture gunship, like, you could be jumping deep into a corner if you really want it. Now, the trade-off there is you're then exposing it pretty heavily to that Gladiator Lancer.
Look at that vulture Gatling cannon. 18 shots. Oh, I was wrong. It wasn't 36. It's 18. 18 per gunship.
Oof.
And sustained hits 1. Oof.
They may also have... Well, I don't have the back sides of the cards up, but some of them have multiple of any given gun as well. That can happen.
I'm not sure if he does have more than one on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What I was going to say, the Gladiator Lancer's got that strength 14 and that on those shots.
Yeah.
It's just the 2 shots, but strength 14,
damage.
D6 plus 3, AP 4. You can reroll a hit, a wound, and a damage.
Yep.
Like, you can do a lot to try and make sure those shots get in on a single target.
Absolutely. I think the vulture gunship does have 2 Punisher Gatling cannons. And we have some horses coming in from strategic reserves. Now, if I do recall, that should leave Aidan at 1 command point. Cost 2.
He gained 2 the first turn, 2 the second turn. He's overwatched and brought something back. So yeah, that sounds like 1 command point. I was also going to say, we didn't see it used because the Terminator Assault Squad started on the board, but they have the Teleport Homer as well. I think it allows you to do the free rapid ingress if you're close to it. I was wondering if we were going to see that this game, but it looks like he's put the Relic Terminators in reserves instead.
The vultures are not Valkyries. They do not have a carrying capacity. They are instead just a bucket of guns. It is interesting that they went from a Valkyrie, the mythological creature, to a vulture.
A real creature.
Correct. Whereas every other, well, not every other, most other vehicles in the Imperial Guard armory are mythological creatures.
The Imperial Guard don't believe in vultures.
No.
They're probably extinct by the time of the 41st millennium, and so...
That's a White Scar's successor.
The vultures?
Yes, with cyber vultures.
Cyber vultures.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They have cyber hawks.
Oh, and here's that other ship. What's that one called?
The Voss Pattern Lightning.
Voss Pattern Lightning. Love that name.
There we are. It's just 2 las cannons and then a house dry rack, which it's useful against flyers, but...
I mean, strength 10, strength 12, like big guns on here.
And fast.
Yeah.
Very, very fast.
This is an aircraft, right? So it's got that minimum 20-inch move. Maximum, as much as you like, including off of the board. You move it, you rotate it 90 degrees. That's what you do.
Yep.
You just try and cut those angles and not accidentally go off the board when you don't want to.
For 130 points, 2 las cannons, and -1 a hit.
That's
not
fantastic.
awful.
Yeah. There we go.
And we are zooming.
Now, he's got to be careful in the angle because I believe you rotate after you move. Or is it before with the aircraft?
In 9th edition, it was rotate then move. I'm not quite sure.
Let's check the handy-dandy Warhammer app. Because I have played, I brought an aircraft to one of my games, but I always put him in hover mode so far, so I have not played the new aircraft rules yet.
I am not a fan of how Space Marine aircraft look.
Yeah, I like the Dark Angel ones specifically because they have the,
The iconography.
iconography and the marble statues and everything. It brings them out of generic military look into, grimdark, gothic. But we were talking about 2 Dark Angel stands here, so... Yeah, you move straight forward 20 inches and then make a pivot of up to 90 degrees.
Got it. Interesting that they changed that.
Yeah, they flipped that around. So does that trade-off now. So in this case, it looks like next turn, that plane's going to fly off the board.
Which is fine. It goes right back into strategic reserves.
Yeah, so he'll get 1 turn of shooting with it and then get it out of there.
There's something else that happened that is much more important.
Oh, what was that? Rapid ingress.
We have Terminators on the board.
The Relic Terminators in that back corner.
Uh-oh.
There it is, and he's holding on to that engage on all fronts from last turn.
Yep.
There he is. There's your 3/4. And those Terminators, if they so desire, could move up into the 4th corner if they need to. So here we are, Relic Terminators. These ones are carrying Combi Bolters and Power Fists. And they have Fury of the First. They get to ignore penalties to hit. And if you're targeting an Oath target, you get to add 1 to hit in addition to the rerolls you get. Thanks.
Perfect. And that grenade harness being somewhat useful if you want to do mortal wounds, mayhaps.
Yep, they have those grenades added in, along with the heavy flamers, I do believe, there.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Yes, heavy flamers. Fantastic. Tucked in back there, ready to pull that back objective, which counts. It's not just No Man's Land's objective in this one.
All right, so we have some las cannons. I'm assuming going into the Gladiator.
Makes sense. Try and take out that tank while you can. You got those shots on the back line there.
Oh, these are against the Terminators.
It's Terminators.
And those storm shields, giving each Terminator 4 wounds.
Yep, that extra wound. 2 up, 4 up, 4 wounds. Real tanky. And with the, not this unit, but I guess the Relic Terminator, since they've got the captain, right? Where's the captain on the...
Actually, will be with the Relic Terminators. Apologize for the yawn.
That captain can, with that free strat, he can pick Armor of Contempt, give you another -1 to the AP.
Rather, it's 1 pistol. That's 2 shots.
I like to imagine him on the horse pulling out 2 pistols, pew, 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 like a Wild West gunslinger.
Just Dominion Zephyr style with his two Inferno pistols.
Or the what's the Gene Stealer cult model?
Color morph.
Yeah.
With the 3 revolvers.
Yeah.
All right, we've got some lasguns going into the assault terminators from the Rough Rider squad. And just as predicted, Isaac is removing the terminators closest to those Rough Riders to make that charge harder.
Make that charge harder. Yeah, for the Vostroyans, they do have, Aidan's got the Rough Riders on the other side as well. So you're making one charge harder or the other, he's got that backup. And like he was saying, the characters on that side of the squad, so. As many as they can, shooting around that corner.
There's another revolver unit. The Admech Cerberus Sulphur Hounds. They are literal cowboys.
That's right, because they're
pistoleros.
cowboys on the horses, absolutely.
Thank you, Ryan.
We should do a Wild West themed
Game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get all of the.
It'd be interesting doing White Scars bikes versus Admech horses.
Ooh, yeah.
That'd be interesting. Now I wonder who we know that plays Admech. There you go. Yes, the 2 Gatling cannons, 36 shots. So many bullets, and sustained. There's at least going to be a couple 6s in there.
But he said who they're getting shot into is -1 to hit. I was trying to catch who that was.
I believe it's a Lysander, maybe?
Mr. Lysander? Yeah, that does sound right. He gives the -1 to wound if the strength is greater than the toughness.
Is it a stratagem, mayhaps?
Perhaps, didn't hear.
A true bucket of dice.
Only many dice you can carry.
Only rivaled by the gallon-sized Ziploc of 100. Oof, not a fantastic roll.
Lots of 1s and 2s in there. That's unfortunate. He's looking for those 5s.
7 whole wounds.
From 36 down to 7.
7.
Oh, but, taking down a few more Terminators.
And 1 heavy bolter. Sustained. Those vultures hitting on 2s. What? Excuse me.
Still saves it. Well, he's got the 36 counted out already. Get the other Terminator squad. Yeehaw. Love that sound.
Plenty of sustained in there.
So he's not also getting the lethal for sitting still.
I believe that is 7. Or 8? 8 sustained?
7, 8. Yeah,
Ooh,
fantastic.
That's so many extra bullets.
It's like a third of his hits or 6s there.
Fours to wound. Oof. Also not an amazing roll, it looks like.
Well, it might be about half. A little less. When you have all the dice, just, rather than counting them out. Ooh. Alrighty.
Rolling 2s like it's Artificer armor in the Heresy.
And this is that strength of those Terminators. Just all of that fire and 1 Terminator. Still down. Still alive. Just a little wounded. Oof.
Oof. Big whiff. The two Colossus Bombards.
Yeah, the question is, do they just go well into the Terminators? Do they... I think
This
they
is the
might have a
easiest target
line on
for
the
them.
Gladiator, depending on the heights there.
I don't believe so. Because that big terrain piece is obscuring.
Yeah. It looks like the one on the right there is going to go to the Relic Terminators along that back line.
4 shots.
That's one of those things I'm starting to learn to be careful with the new blast rules is shoot your guns with blast first. If they're on a different unit, right? Because you count at the beginning of your shooting. But, you know, if you shoot this guns first and then you whittle it down, you've made your other, your other units shooting worse.
Yep.
When you could have shot in the other order. Yeah, a bit more chipping away.
All right, so Isaac.
And the 6s.
Isaac did use Armor of Contempt there to turn that AP1 to AP0
There you go.
on
Bring
those
it right
Relic
back up to
Terminators,
2s.
which makes that entire shooting just kind of
I
ineffectual.
missed that. Was that his free captain strat?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Could we check?
You'd have
No.
to ask.
The
Captain has the free strat.
yes, but was that strat used?
Yeah, I was asking. That would be a question for Isaac. For Armor of Contempt.
Armor Contempt.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Okay. We could clear that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so the Gladiator, I believe, is down to 2 wounds.
Oof. Let's see. There's a 6.
There's a
He's
chance.
gonna roll. Here goes. Hey, just enough.
Does the Gladiator explode? Oh,
Nah, no explosion.
sad.
But yeah, there it is, right? That's what you were saying. It's gonna show up, shoot well it can, and then next turn fly off the board. With the tank gone, there's not a lot that can shoot back at it. I mean, those heavy intercessors can try. They could probably take some chips out of it, but
Be hitting on 4s, wounding not well.
yeah. What's the toughness on the? This is the
I have no idea.
Voss pattern. Can we check out
Lightning.
that Voss pattern? Well, Voss pattern lightning.
Yeah, T9. So they'd be wounding on 5s.
So
Hitting on 4s, wounding on 5s.
not one of those high tough vehicles. There's the trade-off there, but still.
The -1 to hit makes it really rough.
Yeah, because it's still the aircraft, and actually that one, that's not built into aircraft anymore. They have separate rules to say that. Yeah, agile dogfighter.
Yep.
-1 to hit.
All right,
And here
so
we go. There's the charge.
there's the charge. Succeeded with a 5. All right, into the Terminators.
6 and change. Here we go. There
And
it
they
is.
make it.
7. Those Terminators aren't looking long for this world with those Melta Lances.
That -1 to wound, though.
Oh,
Hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s.
Oh, maybe so. This might be interesting. And if the first squad doesn't clear enough, they've got that interrupt available. He said he's got those 2 CP.
2 command points. This might just be a supreme tactical decision.
What?
I was making a joke about Aidan's hat has the Supreme logo.
Oh.
A supreme tactical decision.
And these 2 Rough Rider squads are identical, right? There's
All
no
of
one's
the Rough
taken
Rider
any
squads are
losses yet.
identical, yeah. And the squad sergeant does have that power saber, but I would assume they're just going to all use the Melta Lance.
Yeah, the melt tips are what you want here.
They sure do.
Yep. Yeah, the T4 or the strength 4 against that T5.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 damage.
Hitting on
There we
3s,
go.
wounding on 4s, though.
But
So
Lance.
it's still 3s.
It's actually a good target for those lances then because of that. Here we go.
Ooh.
Save them all. And now he gets to interrupt, right? Like, go into the other squad, clear them out. Yeah, this could be bad.
Yeah, this will be bad.
Yep, pile in, get some more bodies on the objective. And if you can clear that squad out, then at the start of your next turn, you control that objective.
Absolutely.
Because right now, they're just holding their home objective, and only just barely with that one heavy intercessor.
And there is that other squad of Earth Riders coming in from the back. I foresee a swap of home objectives.
Perhaps. Always a fun, rotating board, especially on these diagonal deployments. There you go. Right, so yeah, he gets the +1 to hit when he's below starting strength, and +1 to wound when he's below half strength. And that's from Mr. Lysander, I do believe.
Interesting.
No, that's just built into them. Terminator Assault Squad. No, sorry, that's Mr. Lysander's.
Lysander has the -1 to wound.
Yeah, he's the -1 to wound. Is this?
Could we pull up the Terminator Assault Squad?
I got him here. It's not that. I wrote it down who it was. Oh, it's the Ancient is in that squad.
Ah, that makes sense.
The Ancient in Terminator armor.
Keep the banner high.
Keep the banner high. +1 to hit below starting strength, and +1 to wound if it's below half strength. There we are.
Thank you much. That's, I believe, 2 Rough Riders dead. Oof.
Ooh. That's gotta hurt. Charge both squads in, whiff on the melee, and then just that hard counterpunch. And there they are, back in reserve. They're coming back.
Reinforcements.
So it feels bad, but it doesn't feel as bad when you know they're coming right back.
Absolutely.
But the question's going to be, like, what are you going to do to deal with those Terminators? The Rough Riders don't seem like they're cutting it. Those Melta-Tips not quite getting in there. I mean, some bad rolls in there, but...
Well, those Terminators can only kill 5 units. Because they're melee only. If you feed them 5 units over the course of a game.
Just tie them up with those units so they're not spreading around the board.
You're not going to be controlling the center objective, but...
If you can constrain them so they're not getting to your other units and your other units can do some scoring. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the strategy.
That was, though, a devastating counterpunch.
Absolutely. Just cleared the unit. And I believe that was the unit that hadn't fought yet.
It was.
So, just didn't even... Charged in, didn't even get to fight.
Who needs to? Now this is the infantry squad into the Hellblasters.
There they are.
Ah, and they affixed a bayonet, so they have +1 to hit.
There you go.
Right?
And
bayonet.
there's the 6 again. Waystone Dice OP.
This is their first outing. See, when I rolled them to make sure that they would show up on the dice cam, well, I rolled like garbage.
It's maybe just the dice's loyalty to their wielder.
Soon.
Oh, no, we're still fighting. All right.
It's all close combat weapons in those Hellblasters. Now, I do wonder if Isaac put... Did Isaac put plasma pistols on all of his Hellblasters?
He did indeed.
So they can shoot in the melee.
It's one of those, well, like, why wouldn't you?
Right.
Right? It's one of those upgrades that were clearly designed with points in mind and not with power level points.
Correct.
in mind. They're
Being
just a
able to
straight-up
take
upgrade.
plasma pistols on every Hellblaster instead of just the Sergeant is a huge buff.
Because then when you do when you die and you roll your 3-ups, even if you're in melee,
You can still
you can
shoot,
shoot those. And you can overcharge them because you're already dead. What's going to happen?
and you already automatically pass your hazardous check.
Or automatically fail it.
You automatically pass it. It's in the designer's commentary.
If you're dead, I mean, it
It's
doesn't
true,
matter
yeah.
if you pass or fail it. What's I guess someone would argue that they died again, and I get to roll a 3-up
Again.
and shoot again.
No.
Yeah. There we are. That's right. So the Primaris Apothecary, when his bodyguard unit dies,
It's on a
he can
2-up.
recover their gene seed
Yep.
for an extra CP.
I believe it's not a dice roll. I believe it's just a thing. Nope, it's on a 2-up.
It's a 2-up for
Yeah.
1 CP. Yep.
I dislike those type of abilities, personally.
With a dice roll for it.
Yeah.
You've heard it was just like, just get the CP.
Yeah, for that, like for the Hellblasters, you should absolutely have to roll for it, because that's incredibly
for shooting
powerful.
again. Yeah, that one for sure.
But
That one, even I could see an argument of moving that to a 4-up.
4-up, yeah.
That 3-up is good.
the old ancient ability from 9th
Yeah.
edition. So they're talking about
Didn't
engaging
quite
all
make
fronts.
it into that.
So Aidan holding on to engage. All right, we are heading over to the Sons of Dorn turn 2.
Let's. So sorry. That was. But he's in 3/4 for engage, right?
Alright.
So that was 2 VP for engage.
No,
No, he's not in 3/4.
Nope. He is too close to the other corners.
Is the plane also too close to the other corner?
The plane does not count for engage.
Oh, because it's an
It's
aircraft. So he's also got that. And he didn't get deploy either.
All right, so Isaac is on 2 objectives for 10 points on primary. And Isaac has drawn Storm Hostile objective. What?
And still has engage on all fronts.
And still has engage on all fronts.
Lily, could you check with Aidan if he discarded either of those secondaries? Which one? Which? Got it.
All right, and the Oath of Moment target on the infantry squad attached to Leontis.
Storm hostile here being take an objective that
Your
that your
opponent
enemy
controls.
or your enemy holds none,
Yeah.
right? For 5 VP. So in this case, I mean the clear choice for Storm Hostile here. It's a good time to pick it up because those Relic Terminators are in that back corner, ready to go, ready to jump onto that back objective. There we are. If you control one or more that were controlled by your opponent at the start of the turn, or if your opponent controls no objective markers, you get those 5 VP for tactical missions.
And Isaac has moved up that Infernus squad to absolutely roast this poor guardsman. Ooh.
Yep.
And that squad will take a mortal wound because of the minefield. They rolled a 6 to advance.
Did he catch that?
I don't believe he did.
That we should remind them.
Yes.
Lily, could you remind them about their mission rule? They ran too hard.
You know what they say. Holla if you know.
You know when you do this to me, my heart is screaming out the song.
As is mine. I hope that doesn't become our running gag in every single
week.
stream. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
So we've got, those
Uh.
Furnace Marines coming out to the middle there, shoring up that center point, and the Eradicators coming out there, clear
As-
line of sight to the plane, right? Like,
Presumably to just melt that Valkyrie.
absolute, not Valkyrie,
Vulture.
Vulture.
Ah, I goofed it. And I believe one of these vultures is down to 7 wounds.
Now it would be, strength 9 against toughness 10, but it's a vehicle, so they're going to be re-rolling against it because that's what Eradicators do.
Yep.
Monsters and vehicles. And did you catch the Oaths target?
It was the infantry squad that the Infernus Marines are right next to.
Ah, that one right in the middle there.
Yeah,
Yep.
with Leontis.
Oh, we can clear that. Oh. There you go. Nice charge target. Get you onto the point.
And that gets you Storm Hostile.
Yep. Even with your little 5-inch move, that extra move from the charge.
Yep.
Really nice.
Because currently I believe the only other objective that Aidan controls is number 3 there in the top left.
Yep.
The Vostroyans, their cavalry does blend into the objective markers very well.
Quite well. There's also that risk there also because they're in combat that they could be forced to pile in off of the objective. Because of the new rules about if you pile in, if you can base, you must.
Yep.
And those pieces, you got to be really careful around the edges of objectives there. You can actually pull yourself off of something you didn't want to leave. Those heavy intercessors in the back, tucking in, just barely touching.
The classic Imperial Guard, Imperial Fist stratagem, fall back forward.
No backward step.
No backward
They fall
step.
forwards.
Onto the face.
I believe that's because he's in tactical doctrine.
Yes. Specifically with that one unit.
He put the CP just on that unit. Got it. We have our 2 more soft-spoken players this week, so I've missed some of those cues. You're all good, though.
All right, so Isaac did just shoot those plasma pistols from the Hellblasters into the infantry squad.
Oh.
The Hellblaster did melt himself down there
Yeah.
and did get to fire again, but fired
Didn't
into
quite.
the ether.
It's nicer when you get to do it with the rifles.
Yes.
You know, the pistols are it's better than nothing with the pistols, absolutely, but you really want those extra shots. You know, it's 2 shots each from the,
For sure.
the rifles. Sorry, the apothecary has 2 pistols?
He does.
What? What happened to first do no harm? The other apothecary, the Primaris apothecary. I thought that those were a choice. I didn't actually look close enough to realize he just has both pistols.
He does. He had them last edition as well.
Okay.
Yeah. The reductor pistol, very good.
Yet another 2-pistol Wild West.
A 2-gun kid. That apothecary.
Fantastic. We can clear that.
Thank you much. Ooh, nice.
Woo, beautiful.
These are the heavy intercessors into the lightning.
Got it.
Oh,
Into the Rough Riders.
into the Rough Riders. He was hitting on 4s, which is strange.
That sounds right. The heavy bolter hits on force. And then I've been in the bolt rifle before. They
Weird
did
that
move,
it's
so they're
on
not getting
force.
heavy.
It's true.
Getting to have all of the shooting from the Inferno Squad, D6 each, and then you have 10 of them, feels real good. Lots of flame. $7d6 auto hits. Really fantastic.
Auto hits that also force you to do a battle shock test.
Yeah.
Now, I believe Aidan does have a stratagem that he will likely not be using because he's going to use his 2 CP next turn to bring another unit back. He does have one that lets a...
Look at these wound rolls. So many dice, and their oaths.
The platoon commander has an ability that lets him order a unit that is battle shocked.
Oh, interesting.
So that is very
So even if you do the flames, they battle shock, you can do that anyway. That might be that squad. Because that is a lot of dice there.
15. So he has 20 guardsmen.
So 5 left.
He does not have 20 guardsmen. He has a number of guardsmen, and then the heavy weapon bases have 2 wounds each.
Oh, so it's actually it's 2 less than that, right? It's he has 18 models there, but there's 2 wounds on 2 of them. So there's 20 wounds in there.
Total. So the squad's still up. But I believe they would have to... Oh. Round 2. Electric Boogaloo. Shooting the second. Mayhaps?
They also need to take a battle shock test, right? Oh, all right, maybe not. All right, so the Relic Terminators.
So many bullets. But this is the... Ooh. I was going to say this does have the potential to chip off some wounds, but I believe the Vulture does have a 4-up save. Nope, it saves on 2s.
Yeah, it is 2-up base save, yeah.
Look at me being a silly goose.
Yeah.
There we are. It was off camera, but I did point. We have Aidan being a fantastic opponent and
reminding about the scariest shooting on the board. Yep, there's the the rerolls against the vehicle. Yeah, these will be coming in. I have strength 9, I believe. Yep, AP 4, D6. And those might be in Melta range. Some of those front ones might be getting that extra 2 damage. Oh, no, they reduced the range of Melta. It's not 24 anymore, it's 18.
Oh, is it?
So they're not 9, yeah.
Oof.
Whew, this is probably going to do it. I think that'll do it.
That does. And does not explode. That is 1 Vulture off
now,
the table.
Can you spend 2 CP to bring a Vulture back?
Yeah.
Really? It's any unit.
Any unit.
Wow. That means something he doesn't have the 2 CP right now because I spent it.
Yeah.
But yep, there we go. Plenty.
They're
There.
absolutely in.
There.
All right.
Nice. So not charging the infantry, you got to skirt around them.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Because he's got to get both tanks. If he'd maybe just on the front, tank 5 would have done it. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's that.
Just
bottom
barely.
edge of the 6 is just that little bit of the tank that sticks out in the front. 5 is just going to do it.
And that might be because these Colossus Bombards aren't on the Legion Rust chassis.
So they get that little extra.
A little more forward.
Yeah, there he is. So we got the Relic Terminators on top swarming that plane. I think, you know, they stand. I mean, they got power fists. They could do some damage.
Absolutely.
But
Still
he's not even
wouldn't have
relying necessarily on doing that damage. He just wanted the charge target. He just wants to storm hostile objective, right? Like.
Yes, the reinforced stratagem is limited to anything with a regiment keyword. So say you have a knight in your army. You can't bring the knight back.
So I was listening to them because they're talking about if you can base, you must.
Yeah.
So the front one won't be able. Yeah, so you might actually not still make it because 5 and change doesn't let you base it. And if you can base, you must. because he can't base. Okay, so there we go. This is one of those interesting requirement moves. If the bat guys go first, they block the other guy from basing, so now he can go the other way.
Correct.
These are those interesting interactions where the ordering can get really finicky.
Very finicky.
With the new charge pile in movement rules. So you were saying something before that.
The reinforcement stratagem, it does specify that you have to have the regiment keyword.
Ah.
So anything that is not regiment, i.e. like a knight, for example, cannot be brought back with the reinforcement stratagem. And I believe the vulture does have the regiment keyword.
Yeah, no regiment keyword.
Nope. So you cannot.
Can't bring that one back.
Nope.
So there we go. That narrowly avoiding the 2 units on the sides, charging around them and into those tanks. And they... Did he already apply the pile-in as well?
I believe so.
Looks like. All right, so they're into both, but they're all shooting in, they're all swinging into the one tank.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because he charged the relic or not the relic, the assault squad. They just when they charge into someone in engagement range, they got to take a battle shock test.
Yep. Similarly, Dante does that as well, but it's at the start of the fight phase. Anything within 6 of him, it's an aura, which is strange. There's not many auras left.
A lot of the leaders still have auras, right? Like the Lion does and Gilman does, and so Dante having one there thematically matches.
Now, unfortunately, if those Colossus Bombards were to survive and stay in combat, they could not shoot. Their big guns are blast.
Right, Blast doesn't get to do the big guns never tire. Does the plane want to
interrupt?
What does the plane even have? Can you pull up the Vulture gunship one more time? I'd love to see what its melee weapon is.
6
Armored,
tanks.
6, strength 4, 1 damage. Yeah, no, that's not a good interrupt.
No.
Thank you.
I love the rubber band effect when a camera
When it
lags
lags
out,
and then
yeah.
plays everything really quickly.
Oof, look at all those 6s.
Lots of 1s and 2s, but also lots of 6s.
Majority
those are-
6s. These are the power fists.
These are power fists, so no devastating, but
Drop 3. Alright, and this was the Wounded Vulture. Oof, 2 1s out of 5 attacks.
this is one more.
It's a 4 up for life. No.
Oh,
No.
doesn't explode.
Sadly.
Another plane gone. Another plane bites the dust.
You know, there has to be some song with like a crash and burn lyric, but I just can't think of any off the top of my head.
Looks like it. Yeah, because he pulled the units in the front, so charge it in again. Just a little more. If you pulled out of combat, does that mean the Hellblasters could have shot their rifles? Oh no, it was the pistols that
Pulled
pulled
them out
them
of combat, yeah. Oof. Not many wounds.
And there's
But you
not
don't
that
really
many.
need that many anyway.
Yeah,
Guardsmen
there's
have
not
a
that many
5
left.
Save.
It's 3 in the heavy weapon squad, right?
Ooh. Ooh.
Hey!
There
so
we
just
go.
One. There's an... Oh, wow.
What
Look
a-
at that.
tanky guard infantry unit.
Those feel no pains doing work.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and then I have 2 guys, and then 3 for the captain.
Ooh.
Hey! Got those 6s. And nothing.
Space Marines.
It's Space Marine.
Space Marine.
Oh, did he end up when on the pylon? He
Pylon.
tagged the infantry squad there. Interesting. He needs to be base of base, not inch of base.
Correct. But Leontis did have movement.
Okay.
He did have pylon to get in there.
Yeah, yeah. The Lord Solar used to be, maybe still is, I need to check Gilliman's sheet, but stronger than Gilliman he was in 9th edition. Here he is.
Strength 6.
Strength 6. Now we gotta look how strong Gilliman is. See if that's still true.
I don't believe we have the data sheet for Gilliman. We'll have to check it manually.
Gilliman. Nah, yeah, Gilliman, strength 8 and strength 14. So now
stronger.
back to the proper, you know, Primarch stronger than a guy on a horse.
Jesse will be proud. I will say, though, that was really nice in 9th edition. As a Gilliman, not hater, but...
Disliker?
Disliker? I don't know. Detractor?
Detractor? Yeah.
That works. It works.
I used to be on the Ultramarines and Gilliman, but I in some of the newer books, when you get to see how Gilliman interacts with mortals, you know, there's this iterator person who's there, this historian he's talking to, and the historian's having a full-on panic attack just from the presence of a Primarch.
Right.
And Gilliman's like, you know, drink some water, have a minute, like
take some time.
Take some time, because he knows. It was endearing. It actually made me like his character a lot more.
Yeah. Whereas the lion would just point and laugh.
I think the old lion would, but in the new book, the lion is a little softer.
He's a lot chill. A lot more chill.
Yeah, there's some regret in his continence.
Psyche.
Yeah.
Conscience.
Yep. Oh, did I talk right over scoring?
We did, yeah. He is only on 1 objective, so should only get 5 points.
But going back, sorry, the Sons of Dorn, they did storm hostile objective, so that is 5 victory points for storm hostile objective.
And they get small engage as well.
Yes, it is 2 VP because they're in 3/4 for engage on all fronts.
All right. And
is that right? The Assault Terminator's not quite in that top
they're
left
too
corner?
close to the...
They're too close to the middle.
3 inches. All right, and then it is the top of battle round 3. And Aidan is on 1 objective for 5 points.
Right, because the Hellblasters pushed them off on the bottom. And it really is just that top left objective 3 there.
Correct, and I don't actually remember Aidan's secondaries, unfortunately.
Could you ask him to call his secondaries?
Oh,
there we are.
Perfect. So we are scoring behind enemy lines there with one of those units of Rough Riders. And he has a second one in strategic reserves as well.
That it's turn 3. Can they come in anywhere outside of the deployment now, or?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That is a great question.
I'll pull that up as well.
Thank you on the scorecard there. Yes, I believe it is anywhere outside of the deployment.
Yeah, there they are, yeah. So that way, yeah, behind enemy lines, that means he'll get with the 2 units there.
I believe it would be 5.
He'll get the 5 instead of just the 3. Oh, but it's an angle, so he has to be... and it's wholly within.
We do have the laser pointers as well.
Yep.
That might help.
It's right below the dice tray, yep. Oh, that looks beautiful. Although it's not quite wide enough for the whole deployment.
No, you
but
could.
You gotta hold it up.
Yeah.
You gotta be tall.
Macho man it.
All right, so there we go. We have the Rough Riders coming in a little deeper to make sure that they're wholly within that deployment zone.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones on the left, clearly wholly within. So that's going to be
5
all
points?
5 of those points for the...
This will be at the end of the turn, Lily. Not now. Perfect.
And that sets him up well for the engage. He's got to be a little careful with that bottom right. It's probably outside of the 3.
He can also move them.
Yeah.
No.
No,
Coming,
the strategic
they're
reserves.
coming
They're
from
coming in there.
strategic, yeah. Now, orders.
Orders were command
Orders,
phase,
yes. I don't remember the orders.
and strategic are end of movement. All right. That tank, I believe, now is out of
combat, yeah.
combat. That left Colossus.
The Colossus mortar? I don't believe it is a siege. Yeah, it's just the Colossus siege mortar. There it is.
Blast, devastating. So just get that
Devastating.
1 for blast, because I think they're at...
It should be 2.
10 are still there, should be 2.
Oh,
Oh, 1s and 2s.
sadness.
It hurts.
The other one can't do the same thing.
All right, the other one is, yeah, stuck in.
Combat.
It might be able to shoot out of the combat
I don't
with
believe
the
so.
new rules, but I don't...
Oof. Hitting on 2s, rolling a 1.
Ugh, 1 and a 2. These dice betrayed him left and right.
Absolutely. A cruel summer this is.
Hey. It is a lot of lasguns to put into those heavy intercessors. You know, just law of large numbers by volume. You're probably going to chip some down.
It is only 1 attack per lasgun.
Yeah.
It's only 10.
Skipping it, not even
Yeah,
bothering,
No,
because he wants the charge.
Yeah.
Ugh, not quite.
not quite. It's also
If he's doing that, he's sort of giving up on the full engage. But hey, boxcars.
needed that on the other squad.
Right? But hey, take it when you can get it, right? I've failed a lot of 9-inch charges. So
Now those heavy intercessors being T6 more or less removes the entire efficacy of the frag tip.
right.
Yeah.
It's just like there's not really a point. Yeah, it's melt a tip. I mean, against pretty much, you know, most of his army, you're looking at
Right.
T5 and T6 between the Gravis and the
Terminators.
Terminator and the Gravis.
Mhm.
You just always got to use that melt a tip.
Mhm.
There they go.
Now this would have been a truly rude awakening if the
Now that will, if he's not careful, that could take him off that objective. He's towing the back of it right now, but
good thing they don't have to consolidate.
yeah, thankfully. You may, Pylon, you may consolidate. But if anyone does, everyone must, right? So
It is a less than a 50% chance to make a 9-inch charge. I believe it is 46.
I think it's lower than that. I think it's 46 like when you have a reroll. It's like,
Is it?
I think so. I could be wrong. It's not great.
Statistics has never been a strong suit of mine.
Mine neither.
Ooh!
Look at that. Hoo-hoo-hoo!
And 1 drop.
Just 1-1 in there, but look at that. Lots of hits. Oh, because they don't have the invul on Gravis.
It's D6 plus 2. Oh, D6 flat, yeah. It's 4 of the 5.
So 1 left.
1 left.
Probably holding on to that heavy bolter.
Mm. And the OC2 does not matter against the Rough Riders, who I believe are also OC2. I should check that. I wrote that down.
And there's more than one Rough Rider
Nope,
on there.
they're
OC1 on the
They're
Rough
OC1.
Riders.
They're not battle line.
Ugh.
So they would be tied on that objective.
Interesting.
Just the tip. The Malta tip.
Yeah, he can't. He's got to end closer to the closest model in a pile-in, so. The solar is attached to the unit, though, right? So that he's got to get through the unit to get into the solar because he doesn't have precision.
The +1 to hit.
That plus
so
one to hit
strong.
is nice because it counteracts the negative of the Thunderhammer,
Mm-hmm.
which is that it's one worse in hitting.
It's 4 mortal wounds. Ouch. So that
Oh,
eats
is he
up
not
the
even
4
getting
mortal
saves
wounds.
on these with AP2?
No.
Oof.
Guardsmen have a 5-up.
There you go. Thinning down there. Two onto the Lord Solar.
I believe the platoon commander. I actually did not write that one down.
And there's still a few more. That's the command squad is cleared now, so it's the Lord Solar who's left. Oh no, there now the command squad's cleared. Now we're on to Leontis.
He has a 4-up invuln with a 3
There
save.
we are, yep.
Oof.
3 up, 4 up.
Mm-hmm. 5
Woo.
total wounds left on Leontis.
And those Terminators, they've lost 1,
2.
maybe 2?
2 models.
2 models.
Ugh, 4 mortals. Isaac just rolling hot on those devastating wounds today.
It's the Waystone dice.
It is.
It's got to be what it is. Yep, and there they go. Just the Rough Riders coming back and
Coming back. Coming back. Guess who's back?
Back again. What's the? Can we pull up the Rough Riders sheet for a second? I just want to look at the just on the whole. You're getting these really a lot of movement, like 12-inch movement.
So fast.
You bring them in anywhere on the edge of the board, and then you have places to go. You could go deal with objectives.
Things to see.
It does seem like they're a really valuable unit for those secondaries in that way. And those Melta-Tips, while they didn't do much against the Terminators,
Did work.
did work on those heavy intercessors.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You need a different catchphrase. You can't
Yeah, I
take
know.
mine.
It's a monkey see, monkey do. They've been holding on there for quite a while in that
So
combat.
long.
Just chipping away, holding on.
That 6-up Fiona Pain really coming in clutch for whatever.
And just keeping those Hellblasters from shooting the the rifles. Dun-dun-dun.
I believe that was Leontis.
The horse.
The horses get extra attacks with their hooves because
Yay,
they stomp.
horses.
They stamp it.
Alrighty.
All right. So for secondaries,
For 5 on behind enemy lines. And then those guys are in that quarter. The
that's
Rough Riders are
3.
in that quarter. It'll depend if those left Rough Riders are outside of 3. I think they are. They look like they
So
are.
that is a mini
So you go.
engage.
3/4 for 2 VP on engage on all fronts.
Perfect. Over to the Sons of Dorn, turn
All right.
3.
10 on primary for the Sons of Dorn, holding down 2 of the objectives. Really 3 of them, but, you know, tops out at 10.
Max 10. And bring it down on the Colossus Bombards.
Bring it down is just any monsters and vehicles, but that's what's left.
And then Cleanse is the other one.
What was the other one, sorry?
Cleanse.
Cleanse. Sorry, when I lean forward, my ears stop working. Cleanse. So he's got to do actions on the objectives there with Cleanse. So each one, so 1 cleanse would be 2, and 2 cleansed would be 5. Sorry, 3 if you're using tactical, so 3 or 5. Okay, so those back center Rough Riders are the Oath's target. I'm surprised that he didn't pick the tank, because he wants to bring it down, and you could sort of guarantee that you're going to get those.
However, I would assume the Eradicators are going to come over and,
Step back and clear them out.
and then get their OC9 with the Biologus.
They got to get the melee kill for the Biologus, but yeah.
Is it a melee?
Yeah, I believe it's a melee kill. I'll double check. Not just any kill, but specifically a melee kill. Here we are. The Biologus, Vivis Spectrum.
Yep, as a multi.
OC9, if this unit kills a unit in melee.
That's a very weird ability.
Yeah, and I wonder what the... I guess you put him with aggressors, maybe? I didn't actually look at what he can...
It's
pair up
Aggressors,
with.
Eradicators, and Heavy Intercessors. So,
Right. So aggressors would be the one that is most synergizing with that.
yeah. So what, you put a squad of 3 with the Biologus and a
Have them
captain?
go punch
in an-
something and then
yeah.
stand on an objective.
So I wonder, you would put a squad of 3 aggressors with the Biologus and like a Gravis captain
Mm-hmm.
and a repulsor?
Right up, pop out,
Kaboom.
give someone a bad day,
Mm-hmm.
hold that objective to the end of the game.
Cry.
Maybe. All right, so we see the Eradicators he's talking about. So you want to put him in Devastator. There it is, so that he can get them in range of those tanks for that bring it down. That's, again, why I was saying I'm surprised he picked Oaths on the Rough Riders.
Then,
I guess the Eradicators are rerolling anyway,
yeah,
because it's against the vehicle.
that makes sense. I wonder then if the Infernus Marines are going to come back.
They're going to step back to try and deal with the Rough Riders.
T4 rerolling.
Makes sense. Yeah, you don't want them charging you from behind. I guess that's the... you want to make sure you don't get flanked there. Because my gut says ignore them, but we saw what they did against regular power, or against Gravis power armor.
Mm-hmm.
The non-Terminator bodies. So they're also, he's just gonna consolidate on these tanks, like surround them, get everything into them,
Mm-hmm.
try to get this breakdown. How many wounds does the Colossus have?
Many.
You pull the Colossus up from it. Hey, there it is.
11.
11. So that means it is worth just 1 VP. Sorry, 2 VP. Sorry. 2 VP base and an extra for each, increment of wounds it is. So there'll be 3 VP each.
Got it.
So he could get 6 if he can kill both, 3 if he can kill 1.
It's a shame you took down all those vultures so soon.
Wait, but then there's yet another, because if using tactical missions, then it achieves score an extra VP. So it's 4 or 8.
Got it.
Even just getting 1 of those is a pretty good 4 VP for secondary.
Let's run the math on the all that real quick. For the aggressors, the captain, and the biologus.
Sure, yeah.
The aggressors, 3 aggressors is 110 points.
Okay.
I don't know how many Gravis captain is, but I'm assuming it's around 100.
In that ballpark.
And then the biologus should also be another 100. And then the repulsor itself is like 110, 100. It's like 500
It's like a
points.
quarter of your army.
Yeah,
In there, right?
that is an expensive investment.
Yeah.
Because I mean, alternatively, you can't just put them in strategic reserves and rapid ingress
Instead of
them.
putting them in the
Yeah.
repulsor. Yeah.
But if they rapid ingress, they can't charge. Can
Well,
they?
rapid ingress is on your
On your
opponent's
opponent's turn, that's
so
right.
yeah, you can. Yeah, so look, we talked over, but cleared one of the Colossus. That's already 4 points right there. And now we got some long charges into the Lord Solar. Interesting. Yeah, he needed like 10 inches.
Yeah.
there.
But I do expect Solar to go down alongside that Colossus.
You think both Terminators
Yeah.
take out both?
Well, just based on the amount of mortal wounds that Isaac has been rolling.
Yeah, honestly, those devastating wounds, and he's still got so many bodies.
Yeah.
It'll just be that trade-off of where you put them, right? If you split too much, then you don't kill either, right? Or you you overkill one and not the other.
Right.
All of the different combinations of feels bad on that split. All right, so most everything going into the tank. Really want to guarantee it while you need the points this turn.
Right.
And then just chip the Lord Solar down. You always have the next turn to kill him,
Maybe he draws Assassinate.
right? Yeah, you want to hold on. He's that last character on the board, isn't he? So, well, I guess the command squad down at the bottom is a character as well.
Yeah. All right.
That toughness of the tank really
But
helping out there.
Lysander. Oh, and the Ancient first. All right. Ooh. So, and then Lysander's gonna.
Here he comes.
explode
Can he
that
do it?
tank.
Twos. There he is. Whew. Oh, devastating.
Absolutely.
Does it explode?
No.
Ah, it'd be really funny
Sadness.
to have it explode onto the Lord Solar
Yeah.
as well. There that is. That's going to be 8 points on Bring It Down.
Mm-hmm. It's a big swing.
Absolutely.
I believe it's T6. Oh,
He's strength 6.
that's it. Nope.
There he is, Lord Solar holding on to that one wound so you can get your Assassinate next turn.
Looks like it's 455 points for the squad of aggressors.
So
Repulsor.
we were right on the money there. Quarter of your army.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan.
Is the Lord Solar swinging back.
And it makes it.
There's that Waystone logo again.
If that isn't a singing endorsement of the Waystone dice, I don't know what is.
Four. Yeah, yeah. All
so
right,
that's
so
2
that is
cleanses.
5 points on Cleanse, 8 points on Bring It Down for a big swing this turn, putting the Sons of Dorn in the lead at the bottom of round 3. Do we have any gambits? Ooh! It is, we have it 41 to 50 in the favor of the Sons of Dorn. So, they've got it. So yeah, so you set, so for our viewers, you take Proceed as planned, the one that does nothing, and you set that aside. Then you take the other 3, delaying tactics, emergency evacuation, orbital strike coordinates. You're going to shuffle those up, get rid of 1, and then you get 2, and you pick between those 2 which one you're going to do. So when you're really relying on it being one of those gambits and it's the one that gets discarded, that can be a big bummer. Alrighty.
And you do reveal them at the same time.
Yes. I would assume the Sons of Dorn are not doing a gambit. Spoiler alert. And Aidan can still pick proceed as planned if he likes. If he doesn't like what he's got here, he can still proceed as planned and continue the normal game plan. Ooh, emergency evacuation. Let's pull that one up. So your evacuation target is half the number of units from your army that are on the battlefield at the end of the battle.
Rounding up.
Including things that are embarked. Right. And so at the end of your 5th turn, you roll a d6 for each unit that is wholly within 6 inches of the center, subtracting 1 if they're battle shocked. And then on a 4 up, they are marked for evacuation. And if you can get at least 4 of them, or half if it's more than that, evacuated, you get 30 victory points. Which I'm realizing my overlay does not have a spot to put gambits, so we'll just put them in primary.
It's the top of 4.
You're at the bottom of 3. You're going into the top of 4. Alrighty.
So everything into the center. That's very easy for the Rough Riders to do.
And so the gambit, you stop scoring primary. You still do secondaries. but
No
you
more primary.
Stop scoring primary and are just banking on that gambit. Cleanse again?
And bring it down. No vehicle.
Twice in a row, our players are drawing the same ones back to back.
All right. So Aidan is spending a CP to get rid of Bring It Down and redraw.
All right. Yeah, because there's not a target for Bring It Down, right? So.
And get area denial. Hold enemies away from the center.
I mean, he does need to get into the center for his gambit, so it's not a terrible one to have this turn. It would have been better to have next turn when you're headed there. But you know, if you can clear some of those units out in the middle, get the shooting there, maybe charge some Rough Riders in, get them in position.
Now, unfortunately, one of the units in the center is the Infernus Marines.
Yeah, it's a hard charge.
It's a rough charge.
You gotta get your shooting in there first and clear them down so you can hopefully charge the Eradicators. I mean, but that's Gravis. I mean, we saw what they did against Gravis. The Melta Tips are good against Gravis, so.
I would say charge into the Eradicators and then consolidate.
Into the Infernus so they don't get that chance for that Overwatch, yeah. Now, he still has, I think he's, if I've been paying attention, his 2 times he's used Doctrines he's done via the CP and not army-wide. So he still has, he still has tactical available for that fall back and shoot. So they can fall back and then hit you with the Flamers.
But he does also have 3 units of Rough Riders, 2 of them are on the board, and there's another in Strategic.
Yep. All right, so he's got that unit in the back, positioning for the cleanse.
I believe he has forgotten about his Strategic Reserves.
That'll be after movement.
Right. At the end of the movement phase.
I wonder if he, with those ones being able to tag these, if they could be cleansing, and the other ones could, you know, make a run for the center.
Yeah.
We can clear that. And the plane is back. That's right.
That is right.
It flew off the board last turn, which means it's coming in on Strategic Reserves this turn.
Blast cannons.
And there's right that 3rd unit of Rough Riders in Strategic Reserve. So still lots of units available for this positional gambit. This might be an okay time for it.
Yeah. Now, I've been watching a lot of old reruns of a certain wrestling broadcast. And one of the intros of one of the wrestlers, one of his intro songs from when I was young in the early Garrett days. It started off with "I'm coming," and he was just fucking book it down the down the line, and that's what these Rough Riders are doing.
They're showing up and running in. Yeah, no, it is curious to me that he didn't start to bring one of those Rough Riders in the middle up to try and get that charge off this turn.
Now they are the Oath's target.
Oh, the Rough Riders.
Yeah.
Those middle ones. That's right. So they're not a great for the counter charge, for the Overwatch. That's an excellent point. Okay,
the
the Eradicators overwatching those Rough Riders, and they're the Oath's targets.
No, the Eradicators are overwatching the plane.
The plane.
Plane. Now there will be a -1 to hit, so they'll be hitting on 4s, but they
reroll against vehicles.
Yep.
Reroll the hit roll, reroll the wound roll, reroll the damage roll.
Yep.
It's a really fantastic ability.
Now I do wonder if heavy does it say in your movement phase or in the movement phase? Because if it's in the movement phase, they still technically get the +1.
I mean, it's Overwatch, so it's 6s.
Oh, it is 6s, yeah. I forget the one crucial thing. Overwatch.
Nothing.
No
Even
hits.
with the reroll.
Yep.
That's the downside of the Melta rifles half the number of shots.
Yeah.
As opposed to the multi-Meltas. You better to hit, but half the number of shots.
There's not a lot of shooting. Oh, there's one more heavy intercessor.
Oh, that's right. Still tucked in back there. They gotta stay outside of 9. That's the other reason why those Rough Riders couldn't move away and charge. They're still engaged with that single heavy intercessor. Maybe. He might have pulled them out. Because he's under that building where we can't see him. Clearing out some of those Eradicators.
And
there we go. Another Gravis body down.
Yeah. 3 wounds on those heavy intercessors. Ooh, Eradicators. Woof.
It's
the -1 to wound from Lysander. Very good. Very, very good.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's got that -1 to hit, and then -1 to wound.
I believe it's just -1 to wound.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the Ancient giving the +1 to hit.
Correct.
And then the +1 to wound. Yeah, keep the banner high.
There's another song you wouldn't understand. You wouldn't get the reference because it's a folk metal track. But it's called "Hold the Heathen Hammer High."
Hold the
Heathen Hammer High.
Hold the Heathen Hammer High.
Yeah. It's a great song to sing when you're drunk at a show. Because it's just go the entire time.
Terminator's just chomping through everything bit by bit.
Yeah.
Forming a little Pac-Man shape of yellow. Eating all the models on the board.
Nom, nom. And Solar goes down.
And the Lord Solar is gone. There go those extra CP, right?
Yep.
Thankfully, he's already got it this turn. So just one. It'll just be turn 5 where he doesn't get the... All right, so that's a small cleanse for 3 victory points for the Vostroyans.
And nothing
on the area denial. I think he's going to hold that one because he has to be in the middle on turn 5.
Oh, he's getting rid of it.
Oh, he's getting rid of it. All right. He says no, he's going to score, but if he wants to win, the Gambit's gotta be in the middle there. But maybe he's hoping for some other area denial
and secure no man's land. Yeah, and Isaac just scores those.
Yeah, because those are both end of turn. Yep. And on primary, so we're now in the bottom of 4. It's the Sons of Dorn's turn.
They're on 10. They're on
And
2
they get
objectives.
10 on primary because they control most of the board.
2. Perfect.
Thinking about what's left in the deck for Aidan, what he's hoping to pick up on turn 5.
There is capture enemy outpost, right?
There'd be Storm Hostile. Capture enemy outpost would be a good one.
Assassinate.
Assassinate is still in there.
Not a good one to draw.
No Prisoners is in there.
Mm-hmm.
Overwhelming Force probably still in there.
Yeah, I believe so. Extend battle lines.
Extend battle lines. Yeah, that's what's in there. So there's some good options in there. You know, Area Denial does synergize with your Gambit condition, but outside of that,
Not really.
yeah. I guess he's really hoping for Capture Enemy Outpost for the 8. Or not Extend Battle Lines, because he doesn't control his own deployment, right?
No. The Gambit.
If he
So
gets them
Aidan
to
does
3
have
units.
5 units on the table. So,
So
if
2 units come out, then...
Yeah.
Although, he could bring them back still, right? Does he have that 2 CP, or does he just have 1 right now?
he will go up to 2, I believe, but
But he doesn't have 2 right now when he'll need it.
Yeah.
Ah!
and then on top of that, you wouldn't be able to get that unit into the center.
No, they wouldn't be able to make it in. You're right, because strategic reserves, they'd be coming in on the edges. If they were a unit with deep strike,
Yeah.
right? Because when you're in strategic reserves, you can always deep strike instead. But
Can you?
in the
Oh, so if you
commentary.
have deep strike, you can. Gotcha. Ooh, I saw the 6. I was hoping for the explosion.
and there goes the Voss pattern lightning,
Hmm.
making it out. We're good.
The Infernus Marines into the Rough Riders. Wounding on 4s
So
with full rerolls.
many.
Yeah.
Still the Oaths target?
Hmm.
Yep.
Oh, they're strength 5, so wounding on 3s rerolling. Ouch.
Oh, look at all those dice.
Oof. That is 30 wounds. Saving on 4s.
Ouch. All the dice.
I believe that might be the squad.
There are 10 Rough Riders?
Mm.
5, 6, 7, 8. There might be just 1 left. 7.5.
Woof.
2.5 left.
Close.
Really thinking out. There's 2 other squads there. It's interesting. This Gambit is going to be a really interesting play because you've got to get in the middle, but there's still a lot in the middle. And those Terminators now,
They're coming over.
and they're going second.
Unfortunately, if you're battle shocked, I don't think you can.
In fact, it's in your 5th turn roll,
That's
1d6. It's a -1 if you're battle shocked.
At least it's not. You just can't do it.
6 of the middle is small,
Yeah.
right? It's. I mean, you have the objective markers 3 and a bit,
Hmm.
and it's a little more. That's a really dense area you got to fit 4 units into. And it's wholly within.
Yeah. Especially on those big oval bases.
And the big Rough Rider squads, yeah. I mean, I guess the move on his turn is just YOLO charge all of them in. Try and clear as much as you can in your turn, as much as you can in the opponent's turn. Hope that by the end of it, you've consolidated tightly enough.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
and I guess you also need to fall back the other squad on the right, the infantry squad. Or I guess it's command squad left there.
yeah. And unfortunately, those Infernus Marines can overwatch the movement.
Right, and now look at the positioning. He's
Yeah.
swapped them around, so the Infernus Marines are in front.
Mhm.
So like, hey, you want to charge me? Great, I'm going to make, 30, 31 it was last time, 31 shots against you. That thing that just cleared most of a Rough Rider unit?
Right.
Yeah. Yep, and this is
The end of
Likely
that
gonna-
command squad.
this is out.
Well, the meta pack is there for that 6-up Feel No Pain.
And the medic is gone. Is dead. Huh?
No, I think it's still the flak on the 5s.
Yeah. Oh, on 5s.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, then he's a goner if that's 5s.
It's a 5-up invuln or a 4-up save? Yeah.
Alrighty.
So that's one squad down.
All right, now with that, there are only 3 units left on the board, so he's not going to be able to get the Gambit.
No.
So it'll just be about those couple secondaries,
Mhm.
get the points up as you can.
So there's still a chance. It is slim, but there is a chance. This is the top of turn 5.
So going into the top of 5. Hey, that's the good one. That's the one he was hoping for.
And defend stronghold.
And going back to the Sons of Dorn for area denial, they got the 5, and for secure no man's land, they got the 5.
Mhm.
So that'll bring him up to 70. What did he say? He said,
Capture enemy outpost.
and defend stronghold?
Yep.
Whoops. The opposite corners.
So I'm pretty much just gonna capture enemy outposts and just go ahead and pass turn.
Yes, that'll be 8 points for capture enemy outpost.
And
And then coming to the
that's
Sons
game.
of Dorn. It'll be bottom of 5. They get 10 points on primary, and then for end of game, it'll be
An extra 5
another
per.
15
Yeah.
because they control at least 3.
Well, it does also cap out.
It
Your
caps out
primi-
at 15. I
Your
believe.
primary caps out.
Oh, right.
His immortal wound.
Hey, that's a mortal wound. Lily, could you remind them that that's a mortal wound?
And that
Minefield.
Bakum.
You ran too fast and you stepped on a mine, I guess. Everyone knows that if you're going slowly, you don't step on mines.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's only when you move fast that you step on mines.
Yeah.
What were those? He has overwhelming force and what was the other one?
Behind enemy lines.
Ah, gotcha, which is why he's moving the relic away. Behind enemy lines and overwhelming force.
So odds are he's going to get 2 points for overwhelming force and full on behind enemy lines.
I believe it's 3 on
So yeah,
overwhelming
it'd be
force.
3 and 5.
Yeah. And the Rough Riders are the those just a few left in there are the clear target.
The mines are motion sensitive for certain speeds.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah.
So
So
as long as
usually,
you move slowly, that they don't count it as movement.
right. But funnily enough, when the Rough Riders just move normally, that's still fine.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
because those
right.
Terminators moved 11.
Exactly. They know if you're moving faster than you're supposed to.
Right. It's speed enforced by drone.
He's bringing them back anyway, even though the game's ending. Those Rough Riders just cannot die.
Keep coming back.
There's just hundreds of Rough Riders waiting just off the edges of the board.
Yeah. And you know what they say, and they don't stop coming.
Alrighty, yeah, there it is. We have the Sons of Dorn. So let's just get those last bits of score on there. They got overwhelming force
For
3
3 points.
victory points and behind enemy lines for 5.
Primary.
On primary, they got 10 plus 15,
Yeah.
so 25 on that last bit of primary for the top of 5 and at the end of the game, rounding them out to a nice big 98 points Yep, maxed out primary at 50, secondaries at 38, and 10 points for paint. Vostroyans held up a good fight. We got up to 52 points there, right up until the end there. It was just if they could keep those couple units and get that gambit, but just enough got cleared out there to not be able to bring that back.
Such a fun game.
Absolutely.
Such a fun game. Such very good fluffy lists on both sides.
We
And
could clear the scoreboard real quick there, Lil. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to Rain City Wargaming's Wych Pigeon community stream. We had an excellent game tonight with Aidan's Vostroyans and Isaac's Sons of Dorn. Any last words, Garrett?
stay pretty.
There we go. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.